Underdog Fantasy Bestball drafts are open. The big board contest with over $3 million to first place, Mario. I mean, this is insane. Can you imagine winning $3 million on a $25 entry on the big board? I mean, what would be the first thing that you would buy if you won that $3 million? Let's call it $2 million after taxes.
Probably just spend a long time looking at it. The check, I assume it comes in.
Like a big Ed McMahon check, you know?
Yeah, giant check. I would just kind of hoard that for a while before cashing it.
All right now, if you go over to Underdog, you can play in the Best Ball Big Board contest, but I want you to use code RWNFL because not only will they double your deposit with that code, Mario, but they'll also give you 6 months free of RotoWire, and all the details are in the video description below. All right, Mario, Bijan Robinson, the rookie running back taken 8th overall by the Atlanta Falcons, is going to be a first-round pick. Even before we knew where he landed, he was going at somewhere between pick 10 and 14. Right now, where would you take him? Where would you be comfortable taking him in the big board contest?
Well, I actually posted an article about the rookies just last night on Underdog, and I had to address Bijan Robinson, whose ADP at the time was 8 overall. And so like you said, it's up basically like 4 to 6 spots. I was surprised that he went up so much high. I don't know where people expected him to go, but apparently his already high market before had baked in some concern about him ending up in a committee or something. So maybe Atlanta picking him, reassured those fears, leading to new buyers at higher prices, pushing him up to 8. And so if you want to get him, you're going to have to get comfortable with that kind of number. And it's not the first choice that I would make. It's not like my wish to take Bijan Robinson at 8th overall. But realistically, if I'm picking a bunch of teams, I want to get some Bijan Robinson exposure, and I'm not going to get it if I wait till the previous part of the draft. So I'll say it's a price that I pay, sort of like pragmatically, not because I'm super eager to do it.
Right, you just almost the FOMO, and if you're going to do 25 drafts, to have a couple shares of him and overpay just in case it works out. So who are the running backs in this format, seasonal format, that you would definitely take over him if it was you only had one draft to do?
Well, part of the reason why I'm kind of on board with taking him there more or less is that there's only 2 players that I would take over. Maybe I would project Nick Chubb higher, honestly, but I wouldn't take him higher because you don't have to. But Jonathan Taylor and Eckler, you do have to make that call between those 3. And
how about McCaffrey?
Oh, sorry, McCaffrey I would definitely take ahead. I just meant so if McCaffrey's off the board already and we're at 8 and we have the second running back hasn't gone yet, I think that's where you have to make that call to take Robinson at the moment. And I personally have Taylor and Eckler still ahead of him. So that's the reason I hesitate to make the call. But again, like you said, if I'm picking 3 teams, I want to get Robinson on one of them and not just have Taylor and Eckler on all 3.
The problem that I see with Eckler, and you're in line with consensus here, is that Eckler, to me, there's still a threat of a veteran running back that has not been signed yet, like Zeke,
Elliott,
Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette, that could end up there as Eckler. The one thing he's been complaining about over the years is I need a little help, and they've thrown 4th-round picks at it. It's not help. So that's why, if you're drafting before that happens, there is risk of that happening. So that's why I like Bijan Robinson ahead of him, being that it's the cleanest runway we could have asked for. There's literally no better situation when you factor in draft capital, commitment to the run, improvements on the offensive line, on the run blocking, and obviously talent.
Yeah, I think Robinson's going to be very good, but I guess in my personal opinion, I'd still be more afraid of Tyler Algier than whatever alternative the Chargers might still get. Like, if they get Ezekiel Elliott, that wouldn't be good for Eckler's value, but I think people would be surprised at how little of the touchdown production Zeke would take. He, I think, would take more so like the 3rd and 1 kind of stuff, and certainly blitz pickup, things like that, which is basically too good for Eckler, and it's a good idea for them to stop making him do those things.
I'm going to make the quick case for taking Bijan Robinson at the 2nd overall pick. I know you don't agree with this because the 1st overall pick should be Justin Jefferson, in my opinion. And of course, if you want to take any of the running backs that Mario talked about, Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, certainly, and Jonathan Taylor, that's reasonable. But the case for is that we've seen rookies produce like is a top running back before, Saquon Barkley. Zeke Elliott, even in his rookie year, and obviously the system. Coach Arthur Smith was the offensive coordinator when Derrick Henry was at Tennessee, and it's not like they didn't have success with it. They were the #1 seed. So is there risk because we haven't seen it and all the things that you highlighted? But I'm giving people permission. If you want to take him at 2 and you just and he's not coming back to you. So if you're doing a bunch of these drafts and you want Bijan Robinson, I don't think it's outrageous to take him in the 2 spot.
Especially in a tournament, the big tournament. I mean, it's if you want to think about how you can get a really unique lineup, sometimes the way to do it is you technically have to reach a little bit. Not that we're even conceding that this is a technical reach, but even if it were, the only way you would get Robinson on a team and also a player who, what would it be? There's no way to get Robinson and some other combinations of second round players, top 15 picks, unless you take him that high.
Right,
so,
like
yeah,
say like Devontae Smith goes in the late 2nd round, for example.
Yeah, and so you can't get Robinson and guys of that range of the ADP unless you take Robinson, some amount of time earlier than he tends to go in that ADP.
Right, because most times you're not going to take Devontae Smith at pick like 14 if you get Robinson at 8 or whatever that correlating pick is right there. So yeah, the unique combinations more than anything else is the key to the 3 million. The other thing I wanted to ask you is in your rankings and the advice that you're giving people, who are the wide receivers other than Justin Jefferson? We agree that he's the top pick, that you would definitely take ahead of Bijan if this was a $1,000 entry, meaning that you were putting the utmost importance on this entry.
That's
you've
tough.
already talked about you've already talked about the running backs that you prefer over him, but who are the receivers?
I'd probably say both Chase and I know this is risky, but Kupp too. It's just I know he's made of glass and so is Stafford, but if they don't break, that 2 years ago is right back on the table, I think.
How about Tyreek?
Oh right, Tyreek. Funny enough, I put Tyreek probably. I probably don't put him ahead of Chase, but I actually do. I think prefer. Especially if you're picking them with any volume. I mean, I think Hill has demonstrated much less injury risk, even with his quarterback situation, than Kupp has.
All right. If you enjoy videos like this, consider hitting the like button and comment where you are comfortable taking Bijan Robinson. And remember, right now, go to Underdog Fantasy. You can play in their big board contest and use promo code RWNFL. That's RWNFL right there on the screen. And they'll double your first deposit, and we'll give you 6 months of RotoWire free. All of the information and the link is in the video description below.